Here is what's coming up in today's Frontline compilation. GoPro and a quadcopter track exposed infantry on open ground in Donetsk as Ukrainian guns walk fire in. Watch how the spotter adjusts onto single silhouettes, one bracket at a time, and what that precision really looks like up close. In a ruined house, Ukrainian troops corner a lone Russian soldier. Grenades and quick rifle bursts push him from room to room until one last move decides who steps out. A recon drone films a warehouse in Pokrovsk. A flash hits, the frame disappears in a chain blast, and sources say an FPV strike set off munitions inside. After a heavy fight, an extraction truck dives in under fire to pick up Ukrainian soldiers. With a blown rear wheel, the driver whips the MRAP through tight turns, racing them towards safer ground as a drone tracks each move. This is real footage, no effects, just raw moments from the battlefield. Subscribe to stay updated on every Frontline report and stick around to see it all unfold. Let's get into it. Ukrainian forces launch a large-scale drone attack on the Russian Crystal plant, a vital oil depot supporting the Engels 2 airbase. Located nearly 400 miles inside Russia's Saratov region, the site erupts in flames. Witness footage shows massive infernos consuming the depot as thousands of gallons of oil ignite. The screen is filled with fire, the whole area covered in roaring flames that light up the sky. Russian drone footage captures precision strikes on a massive apartment complex in Stepnohursk, Zaporizhzhia, presented by Ukrainian sources as evidence of a war crime. The bombs hit civilian residential blocks where no troops were present, tearing through walls and scattering debris. Local reports claim at least 9 Russian KAB-500 bombs struck the village, reducing homes to rubble. Civilians are said to have been killed in the blasts, smoke filling the sky as the destruction unfolds. Footage from Ukraine's 30th Mechanized Brigade shows soldiers clearing and retaking a formerly Ukrainian-held position from Russian forces in the Luhansk region. The unit calls the assault joint combat work of intelligence and infantry as they advance through the trenches with relentless precision. Small arms fire cracks again and again, grenades explode in bursts, and dust rises thick in the air as the unending battle rages. One soldier suddenly aims at the sky, drones may be overhead, while others unleash continuous fire from the trench. A drone spots the Ukrainian artillery site and launches a Lancet strike, with haze and flames engulfing the area as it hits its target. An M777 howitzer stands in ruins, with nearby ammunition detonating in a massive secondary explosion. From the footage, the cannon remains largely in one piece, though its operability is uncertain. Fire continues to rage across the area, casting shadows over twisted metal and debris. A compilation of drone strikes in the Toretsk region shows Ukrainian forces targeting exposed Russian infantry. The Predator Brigade footage begins with an attack on enemy troops inside a vehicle and moves to infantry on motorcycles. A direct hit severely injures one soldier, forcing others to flee into a rubble-filled building. The drone continues to strike, shattering the structure. Drones relentlessly drop munitions directly on the infantry, injuring and disorienting them. Smoke and debris rise as the drones hit, injuring and killing soldiers. The battlefield turns into a chaotic scene of non-stop, precise drone strikes. GoPro and cell phone footage released by Russian sources shows a Yoka air defense drone being deployed against a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone. The Yoka is a novel kinetic energy-based air defense drone designed to ram targets out of the sky as a low-cost alternative to traditional missile systems. The footage captures the drone streaking through the sky, striking with precision, as operators rely on this unconventional approach to neutralize reconnaissance assets, highlighting a new phase in modern drone warfare. GoPro and drone footage released by the Ukrainian 28th Mechanized Brigade shows a series of artillery strikes pounding exposed Russian infantry in the Donetsk region. The footage begins with a direct attack on Russian troops, dust and smoke filling the air as explosions tear through the ground. Russian infantry are hammered by artillery with devastating accuracy, each impact landing with precision guided by drones. The strikes continue against Russians caught in the open, while nearby buildings crumble under the relentless fire. Dust particles hang heavy in the air, shrouding the battlefield as the destruction unfolds. This footage, filmed by Ukrainian observation drones, shows a Russian assault near Siversk in Donetsk Oblast. A moving Russian vehicle is struck and destroyed with its rider, while other motorcyclists are picked off in the open. Flames spread as several of the wrecks burn fiercely. Vehicles are abandoned one by one as troops scatter on foot, using UAZs, buggies, ATVs, and motorcycles with little protection. The flat expanse of Ivano-Darivka offers no cover, leaving them exposed to mines, artillery, and relentless drones. Explosions tear through the open ground until only burning wreckage and dead soldiers remain. Another Russian motorcycle excursion ends violently as a team rides slowly down a Ukrainian road towards a defended position. The bikes screech to a halt and are abandoned, one soldier slipping into the bushes for cover. Overhead, drones lock onto him, dropping munitions that strike with precision. Another soldier remains near the bikes, unaware of the looming threat, until a second drone attack kills him and destroys the machine beside him. The motorcycles lie ruined, twisted metal left useless on the roadside. A confident Ukrainian soldier attempts to detonate an anti-personnel mine using a log, only to be struck by shrapnel in his hands and backside. Although the mine is designed to maim rather than kill, the blast sends fragments flying in all directions. The soldier survives with minor injuries, but quickly learns the painful lesson that underestimating even a small payload can be costly. FPV drone footage from Verkhnyo-Kamyanska along the Siversk front shows a Russian soldier hiding in the bushes being struck and catching fire. The drone then targets a Russian motorcyclist, hitting him directly. Observation drones mark various Russian scout and infiltration teams as FPV kamikaze drones relentlessly strike, picking apart multiple vehicles, trenches, and soldiers with precision, leaving destruction and chaos in their wake. One soldier tries desperately to hit the drone but fails, and the footage ends showing his lifeless body among the chaos, highlighting the relentless and deadly efficiency of the drone attack. Close action unfolds between Ukrainian and Russian infantry as a Russian soldier takes refuge in a ruined building. Ukrainian troops continuously fire rifles and lob grenades at the structure, forcing it to catch fire. Smoke and flames billow as the soldier emerges in a desperate attempt to save himself from burning. The Ukrainians maintain relentless fire, and the Russian soldier is cut down outside the building. The footage shows the Ukrainian 54th Mechanized Brigade striking a Russian vehicle near Marinka, Donetsk Oblast. Russian armor sustains direct hit, and the tank, abandoned by its crew with no reaction to contact, is left behind and exposed in the open. Ukrainian fire walks onto the target until a direct hit lands with catastrophic force. Thick black smoke billows skyward as the vehicle is ripped apart by the impact. The wreck erupts in a massive secondary explosion, likely from fuel or unspent ammunition. The destruction is total, the armor reduced to a burning shell. Smoke rises as attacks are launched in the fields around Nadia, west of Svatov. Tanks fire at enemy positions. Helmet and tank cameras capture every tense moment as resistance proves light, with at least one enemy down and Ukrainian vehicles moving freely. Soldiers move from one place to another, clearing the area. The village seems lightly defended, with few obstacles or strongholds. Step by step, the village is reclaimed, the footage ending with tanks firing, suspense filling the air as Nadia comes back under Ukrainian control. Reconnaissance drone footage released by Russian sources shows an attack on a Ukrainian airfield. The site reportedly housed 3 short-range aircraft used to counter Russian reconnaissance before an Iskander-M missile was launched to destroy them. The strike lands with force, and thick smoke fills the air. marking the destruction. A two-man team from Azov's 3rd Assault Brigade launches a daring raid on a Russian trench. Armed with rifles and backed by a drone dropping explosives, they continuously fire at enemy soldiers who return fire and take cover inside the bunker, creating a tense exchange of close-range combat. The drone's precise strikes drive the Russians into their bunker, creating a critical opening. Swiftly, the Ukrainian duo advances, hurling grenades into the position and neutralizing it. The footage opens with a soldier in a trench firing at a drone, then throwing his rifle upward in desperation, only to be struck moments later. Another man throws a beer bottle skyward, but the drone dives through and attacks him. The sequence continues as soldiers desperately wave a shovel and bucket in vain attempts to ward off the machines. In the final moments, a soldier tosses his helm upward before being hit himself. None of the defenses work. Each soldier falls, and the improvised weapons lie scattered in the dust. Reconnaissance drone footage from Ukrainian sources shows a massive explosion in the Pokrovsk region, targeting a Russian ammunition storage facility. The blast is triggered by an FPV drone strike that sets off the stockpiled munitions inside, causing a sympathetic detonation. Smoke pours into the air as the screen fills with fire and debris, the entire site consumed in chaos. A Ukrainian Predator drone hovers over Toretsk, first striking a soldier on the spot. Other soldiers are hit directly as the drone continues to drop munitions. The footage shows relentless attacks on Russian infantry groups, with explosions impacting multiple troops across the field. The skilled drone operator neutralizes dozens of enemy soldiers with precision. The Predator Brigade reports approximately 27 killed and 98 wounded, nearly destroying an entire Russian company. Footage from the Ukrainian Birds of Magyar drone unit shows multiple strikes against Russian combat vehicles. The footage shows strike triggers a massive explosion, causing catastrophic damage as flames and thick black smoke fill the air. The drone pilots, skilled and precise, target vulnerable points on the poorly armored Russian and Soviet-era vehicles. The vehicle catches fire, with flames rising high into the sky, showing the full destructive impact of the hit. New footage reportedly shows a pair of jet-launched precision strikes targeting a Russian bunker, resulting in the deaths of approximately 25 Russian troops. At first glance, the strikes appear to mimic airburst artillery, but slowed footage reveals projectiles impacting before sending out deadly shrapnel and flying debris. Drone footage released by Ukrainian intelligence captures a dramatic battlefield extraction under relentless fire. According to reports, the MRAP's driver had just pulled several wounded soldiers from the front line minutes before the clip begins. As the vehicle pushes through shattered streets, the rear tire is ripped apart by shrapnel from a nearby detonation, sparks and smoke trailing behind. Despite the damage, the driver refuses to stop, maneuvering past wreckage, burnt-out armor, and the constant threat of incoming fire. Every jolt of the vehicle mirrors the chaos around it, yet the soldiers inside cling to survival as their driver turns what should have been a doomed ride into a desperate dash for safety. Witnesses claim this run not only saved lives, but preserved a foothold in the sector, ensuring Ukrainian units could regroup for the next push. The footage starts with an attack on a communications system perched on a terrace, then moves to target a Russian Orion UAV. FPV drone footage released by the Azov Battalion's drone operators shows strikes in the Toretsk region. Multiple strikes follow against various Russian communications arrays and electronic warfare suites, showcasing the destruction of 54 critical systems. Each hit is precise, leaving the enemy's network crippled and the battlefield advantage shifting decisively. Footage shows two Russian soldiers desperately trying to outrun kamikaze drones across open ground, a futile attempt from the start. The first drone locks onto its lead target, detonating on impact and killing him instantly despite his frantic attempts to escape. His comrade is forced to sprint past the smoldering body, believing the danger has passed. But the sky buzzes again. Another drone dives toward him. He runs, dodging and weaving, but the machine closes in relentlessly. The second strike hits with deadly precision, ending his life on the spot. The open field becomes a graveyard, marked by smoke. The soldier fights fiercely, but his fate remains unclear as the enemy presses in. In the final moments, a Ukrainian quadcopter drone drops a grenade onto one of the Russian soldiers, wounding him severely. That's today's raw footage, no filters, no spin. Thanks for watching and staying with the Frontline. Subscribe, share, and tell us what you want to see next.